So
This
hope
conference will now be recorded.
Can any one person can unmute yourself and let me know that whether I am able to hear you people or not. Any one person? Cecilia, you're online. Aishwarya.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Chitra. Thank you, ma.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. So it was been like how to install the Tally. So today we have been, and also I think we have been created a company also. So, but still I'll let you know people. So this is the Tally icon which is going to be there on the desktop as when you are going to install the Tally in your system. So it will take a minute of time. So here I'm supposed to go to the option continue in educational mode. So as I said that you are not supposed to use the mouse when you are using a Tally. So why it is? Because to make sure that you are going to bring the results as faster. So every option in Tally you have a shortcut keys. So and that shortcut keys it will be there with an highlighted letter. So in certain shortcut keys, it will be there with your function keys like F1, F2, F3. So you can be able to easily identify what is the shortcut key and try to use the shortcut key as much as possible. Okay. So now if I want to go to the continuing educational mode, then I am supposed to use it as T. So this is going to give me the list of companies which I have already created in my company. So now here, let me go to create company. In case if there is no shortcut key available, don't try to use the mouse. Try to use the up and down or left and right arrow keys. So I move the cursor by using the up arrow key and I'm there in the option called create company. And if I want to get inside, press enter key. So enter key is like you're entering into the particular option. Now, this is the first screen which you are there, and this screen is called as company creation. On the top left corner,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah, go ahead, ma.
Sir, I'm not able to see the screen.
So is that not visible? So I'll
No, sir.
reshare the screen. Is it now visible, ma?
No, sir.
Is that everyone are finding difficulty?
It is visible, sir.
Okay. So is it Chaitra you are finding difficulty?
No, sir, it's me, Vidya.
Vidya, okay. So Vidya, can you re-log in and check it out, ma? Have you logged
Okay,
in with
sir, I'll
your
do.
mobile?
Yes,
Have
sir.
you okay, okay. So once you re-log in and check it out, ma.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. So we were doing with company creation screen. So let me give a company name. The same name, it repeats in the mailing name also, or we can give the short name also. That is the communication name what you are going to use it. Whenever you are going to share any documents or any kind of information from the tally, so with that name only it is going to be received or it is going to be presented. The next thing is address. You can give the location of your business. So let me give it for example, Jayanagar, Bangalore. Then select with the state. So it is mandatory you are supposed to select with the state. So based on the state, the certain taxation information it is going to be entered. So as soon as you are going to select the state, the country it is going to be selected automatically. So suppose if you are going to change with the state, so let me type any other place, so that automatically the country it is going to be selected as per the state selection. So based on that, the base currency also it is going to get changed. So the country it has been selected as United States of America. So the currency symbol also it is there as a dollar symbol. So now let me change the state. So that the base currency also it is going to get changed based on the country selection. So the pin code, telephone. So this is a yeah, it is a self-explanatory. So you can be able to give your details. The next, the very important of this screen is financial year beginning from. So your financial year beginning from should be always with the 1st of April date. So when you are going to start to record the information of the company in your books of accounts, so the financial year it will be always the first date of the financial year starting date. So that it is going to start with 1st of April. So here, if you are maintaining the books of account for this financial year, you can give the same year date. Or if you want to record the previous year, previous financial year date, you can change it. So Tally will not uh, restrict for not entering the data for previous year or future years. You can give any financial year, but it is always recommended to give the 1st April date itself. The next, books beginning from date. It should be the starting of your transaction in your books. So what date onwards you want to record the information in your books of accounts. From that date onwards, you are supposed to give it. Suppose if your business is started after the date of financial year beginning from, then you should give that date. For example, if your business has been started from 1st of August 2022, then you can be able to give it as 1st of August 2022. Suppose if this business it has been running from previous to the financial year starting date, that is 1st of August 2019. So if it has started from 2019 August onwards, means then for this financial year it is going to be the starting date of the financial year only. So you are starting the record of accounts transactions, everything from the same date of the financial year beginning date. Hope you people found out the difference between the financial year beginning from date and books beginning date. Then base currency, by default it has taken the currency type based on the country selection. The formal name. So whenever you are recording a transaction, the values will be given in two format. So one format it will be in the numbers. So with that numbers, the symbol it will be this rupee symbol, or we can call it as a Ra symbol. And the same value it should also be shown. It has to be shown with the formal name, that is in the amount in words. When you are writing any check, you might have been observed that you are going to write the value in the numbers as well as in the words also. So whenever you are going to write the words, so you have to write with the formal name, that is INR. Okay, so you have to give the both the names, and also formal name can be your international standard code. So for rupees it is INR, for dollars it is USD. So like this, the international code also can be considered. The next, suffix symbol. So suffix means after the amount. Prefix means before the amount. So whether your symbol has to be shown before the symbol or after the symbol. Sorry, before the amount or after the amount. So just give me a minute, I'll be back. Hope my screen is visible and I'm audible now.
What is the source question? Don't wait. Yeah.
Yeah. So the add space between the and the symbol. Yeah. So show amount in millions. So whether do you want to show your amount in millions format? So since we are using a INR value, no need of giving a show amount in millions as yes, let it be as a no. The next, number of decimal places. So whether do you want to save the value in your books of accounts with the decimal places. So if it is yes, so give it how many places. The maximum decimal places can be given in Tally is up to 4. So if I'm entering more than 4, it will give me an error that number of decimal places cannot be more than 4. So let me give it on an average as 2. The next, word representing amount after decimal point. So any value, if it is calculated in round of value, it shows the main currency symbol. And if it is calculated on the decimal places, it will be a different symbol. So here the name, what you are going to call it for round off is a rupees. And if it is a decimal value calculation, it is called as paise. Like how we have it for dollars as a cents. Okay. Next, number of decimal places for amount in words. Suppose if you write the values in the words, so even you should write it in the uh, decimal point values also. So how many places? So that also it will be taken as 2. So after giving all this information, if you feel it that some options you are missing or you want to check it out, whether do you have any more options on the screen. So if you want to check it out, so always first you have a look on the right hand side, the shortcut keys list. So you can be able to see the shortcut keys. So here you can see F2, F3, F4, but certain options are not highlighted. You are not able to click on that, or you cannot be able to make use of that option because those options are not applicable for this screen. The shortcut keys, it will be keep on changing on screen to screen. So on the right hand side, what you are seeing it. So please be aware on this shortcut keys which are applicable and try to make use of those options. So what are the new things you can get? Any new options can be seen on your screen. Any new values you are able to see it. So you can be able to keep on observing by using the shortcut keys. So if the options are not available with the shortcut key, what I'm looking for, or if I want to check it out more, what could be more options are available. In such a scenario, you can be able to make use of another option that is called as F12 configure, which is there on right hand side corner. So every screen has a different shortcut keys. At the same time, if you press F12 in each and every screen, the options what you are going to get, it will be differed from screen to screen. So F12 option is like enabling and disabling. So anything you want to add it in your screen, yes. So type it as Y and press enter. If you want to remove that information from your screen, and if there is any option available in F12 related to that, then you can make that option as no. So you can type it as N and press enter. So it will turn it into no. So for example, provide contact details, here it is yes. So I'll just make it as no by entering N and press enter and press enter till the end of the screen, so that you can see that the contact details option after the country, it is not available. Again, if I want it back, again I can go to the F12. So make provide contact details as yes and accept the screen. So you are able to see your contact details option. So like this, you can enable and disable the options what you required in that screen by using F12, and also try it out with the options available on the shortcut keys on the right hand side. Okay. So now let me accept the screen. You can observe that my cursor, it is there on which option. If you people are able to see my screen, my cursor is there on which option of the screen. So my cursor, it is on which option of the screen where it is blinking.
Pin code.
Yeah, it is on pin code. That's good. So now, if I want to come to the end of the screen to accept the screen, it will take multiple times. I have to keep on entering it. I have to keep on enter at least 10 times. Okay. So, or more than 10 times it is. But I don't want to keep on press enter key. So if I want to accept the screen without making any changes on the screen, without using enter key till the end of the screen, the shortcut key is Control A. So Control A is the shortcut key to accept the screen at one single shot. Okay, so you can be able to accept the screen and it will take you to the next screen. As of now, for the first time, when you are going to accept the screen, you will be able to get this screen which is called as company features. So that means for this Tally company, is there any options do you want to implement it while passing a transaction or for viewing any report? If you want any information to be added, any feature to be added in your books of accounts, then you can be able to enable it at the beginning of the company creation screen itself. Suppose if you feel it that you want to enable any option, you can just move the cursor by using enter key. Enter key is to move for next option, then backspace for going for previous option. If that does not work, then you can use up and down arrow keys. Okay, try to maximum use with enter key and backspace for moving. Okay, suppose if I don't want any options to be enabled or disabled in the screen, then you can press escape. If you feel that any option to be enabled and you place the cursor on that option and enable it, and then if you want to accept the screen, so you can press Control A for accepting the screen with the saving of changes. Okay, so you can accept the screen. So this is the first screen what it appears when you open a Tally company. So this screen is called as Gateway of Tally. You can see on the right hand side on the top the heading, it is given as Gateway of Tally. So under Gateway of Tally you have masters, transactions, then banking utility, then reports. So apart from these reports, there are many other reports. For that you are supposed to go for display more reports. So which you can be able to see furthermore reports available in the Tally company. So now if I want to come back to the main screen where the master's transactions options were being shown. So the shortcut key what we are going to use it is escape. So escape is the option which will take out of the screen. You are there in whichever the screen. From there, if you want to come out without making any changes, or if you made any changes in that screen, but it should not be saved. In such instances, you can press escape and come to the main screen of the Tally. Okay, so now in this screen, it has been divided into two parts. So one part on the left hand side, it shows the period, current period. So current period means for what period, the duration of your books of accounts you want to record the information or check the report. So by default, it has taken the starting of the financial year date till end of the financial year. So that means for 1 year period, you are going to record the information and check the report. Suppose if you want to change the period, you cannot change the starting date, whatever the date you are given at the time of creation, the financial year starting date. So that will be the starting date by default. So that you cannot change it. Even if you change it, it will not allow you to enter any value for that date. Okay, so it will not allow you. In case if it allows, then it will not allow you to enter any date, because while creating the company, I've clearly given the instruction that I want to start to enter the data from this financial year. Okay, so suppose if you want to change the period for the purpose of making it, instead of 1 year, you want to keep it for 1 month, 2 months, or for any other dates, you can be able to give it by using the shortcut key as Alt F2. Use Alt F2 so that it will allow you to change the period. And one more instruction to the Tally users on laptop. So if you are using a Tally on laptop, so the function keys, if it does not work, then please use the FN button, which is there next to your space bar on the left hand side. After control button, so FN, there is a function button. So you should press that FN and then you should press F1, F2, F3 like that, so that it will work. Okay, so now F2, Alt F2 I have pressed. So how we can come to know that which are the options are available on this screen which I can be able to use it. Okay, and why did I use the Alt button? So when you are going to see the shortcut keys, you can see certain shortcut keys are directly given with the letter or with the function button, that is F2, F3 like that. On the right hand side, what you can be able to see. So F2 is for date, but I pressed Alt F2 for period. So how do I come to know what are the options are there with the Alt button? So how do I recognize that whether I should use Alt button for this? So when do we use it? Means if you have any shortcut keys with the single underline. So if you people observe on top, it is given with the options like company, data, exchange, so export, import, this kind of options, which you can be able to see above the screen on the top. Okay, so these shortcut keys are there with a single underline, that is K is there, below to that one single underline is there. So if any shortcut key is the combination of underline, single underline, then you are supposed to use the Alt button. So that means if I want to go to that option company, then I am not supposed to use only K, I should use Alt plus K. So you should use the Alt button, with that you should use the K button. Okay, then only it will take you to the the options what are available for that. Okay, suppose in certain screens with certain options, it may be with double underline. If it is a single underline, I'll repeat it, it is a Alt button combination. If it is a double underline, then it is a key combination with control button. So that means control K if it is given with a double underline. So it is a single underline. So it is control, sorry, Alt. Now, if I want to know on the right hand side, the shortcut keys are there. Is there any shortcut keys with the single underline or double underline? Now presently it shows only without underline. One is F2 date and F3 company. So if I want to view it, those shortcut keys with the single underline or with the Alt button, double underline with the control button means, so you should press Alt and hold it. So if you press Alt button and if you see on the right hand side, it shows all the shortcut keys which are there with single underline, that is with Alt button, what all the shortcut keys are available. So it was showing before me, for me it was F2 date. Now it is showing Alt F2 for period, F3 for company, Alt F3 for company, select company. Now, if I want to know that is there any shortcut keys with double underline, then press Control and hold it, and it will show that what are the shortcut keys are there. So there is only one shortcut key with Control button. So that is Control F3, that to shut the company. Okay. So you can go to each and every screen of Tally and you can be able to try all these things by using Alt button and hold it so that it will show all the Alt related shortcut keys. Control, if you hold it, it will show with control button related shortcut keys. Okay. So like this, you can identify the shortcut keys. Now, to change the period, I have to use Alt F2. So I can give it from 1st April to, I will have a data only till 31st August. So now if I try to enter any transaction after the 31st August, so then it will not show the information at all. It will not allow you to record any information with that dates after the 31st August. Okay, so this is one thing. The next thing is to change the date. So as you see that the date option is F2 is already available. So you can press F2 and you can change the date. So this option can be used while passing a transaction or for any report specific date. If you want to check, you can use the F2 option. Okay. Then below to this period, it has been given as name of company. So name of company means on which company we are entering this data. So whatever you are going to enter the data, so in this company only it is going to get saved. And on the other next to that company name, it is given as date of last entry and it says no vouchers entered. That means there is no entries available. till now you didn't pass any transactions. No vouchers entered, no transaction form. Okay. So this is on the left hand side what you are going to get it. So now let us see with all the transactions what we have been discussed in the previous sessions. So that was nearly how many transactions we had been discussed? Anyone knows? How many transactions we had been discussed? We have been journalized. Can anyone let me know? Okay. So let me tell you. So I've been shared the notes also. In that itself, we have been discussed about nearly 6 transactions, 6 different types of transactions. Okay. So now, when we are going to record a transactions, so first and foremost thing is, the very important thing is we have to record it with the ledger accounts. So the ledger accounts, how do we create it? So that you can be able to see here from the gateway of Tally. Under the masters, you have an option called create. The shortcut key is highlighted over here. It is C. So you can type it as C so that you'll be there inside the masters creation. So what all the masters are available? What is that Tally is allowing us to create it as a masters? So the first and foremost thing is it shows as group, accounting group. So accounting group means it is going to be the type of account. So in the first session itself, we have been discussed. There are how many types of accounts? Which are the 5 important accounts, if anyone remember? So any types of business, when you are going to maintain the books of accounts, you are supposed to specify that the transactions are related to which type of accounts. So there are 5 important types of accounts, and here in Tally there are default or predefined. That means which is already created masters are available. So in that, first one is accounting group. So accounting group, we have 28 groups which is already created. So what we discussed, it was the 5 groups, but here it says 28 groups. How it can be possible? As I said, so it cannot be more than 5 groups have been informed. But how Tally can create a 28 groups? Yes, we can create n number of groups, but as I said, the 5 important are only the types of accounts you have it, but it has been defined with various types based on its behaviors. So if I want to know that how many predefined masters are already created, then in the same gateway of Tally, there is an option called chart of accounts. So you can go to chart of accounts. The shortcut key is H. So go to the chart of accounts and select with groups. So go to the groups option. So here you can be able to see that there are 28 groups already created. So if you see that each and every group, whatever it is created, it is under either of these 5 accounting types. Okay. So now in this 28 groups, you are being given with 15 are main or primary groups. Then the other one is, the other 13 are subgroups. So here the subgroup means group created under another group, under another group. Okay, so that is subgroups. So how to identify that in this 28 groups, which are main groups and which are subgroups? So you can see that here the alignment of these names, there is little bit of changes are there. So which is there on the full left alignment. So like branch divisions, capital account, you can see that reserves and surplus, it is little bit on the right. Current assets, it is there on the left, but bank accounts, cash and hand, these are all on the little bit of right. So which is there on the full left side, they are the main accounting groups, and the subgroups are the groups which are created under the other group. Either it could be a main group or a group under another subgroup. It could be anything. So for example, so the main thing is current assets. Under that, what all the accounting groups are there? Bank accounts, cash and hand. So like this, it has been categorized with the different types of accounting groups. Okay. So apart from this 28 groups, do you want to create any other group? Yes, you can create n number of groups. You can create n number of groups. To create that, you have two options. One is you can come to the gateway of Tally, always start your entering or any checking of information regarding Tally information, always started from gateway of Tally only. So from here you can go to create and you can create the group. So you can create one by one group over here. Suppose you want to create multiple groups at one shot, then you can go to chart of accounts. Then here you can choose it as groups, and here on the right hand side you have an option called multi masters, where you can be able to create it multiple groups or anything. On whichever the options you go, you can create multiple masters of that particular type of masters. So now in the group, if I want to create multiple groups, then I can press Alt H. Then you can go to multi create, and here you can be able to create it with the multiple groups. So these are the two ways of creation of groups. So let me go to the gateway of Tally, create, and let me go to the group. So let me take an example. I'll take it as share capital account. So I've created a group. So now if I want to create it under the capital account means then it is a subgroup. Suppose if you want to consider this share capital account as a main group. So what is the difference you will have it is if you keep any group under primary as a main group will show that report on top in that reports. If you take it under any other group, then certain times it will show below the main group or sometimes it may not show it in the report directly. It will be somewhere hidden. It will be under something else. Okay. So if you want to keep this particular information always on top of the report, then you can create it under primary. If you think that let it be under the respective accounting group, then you can choose that particular group. And when you are choosing it as a capital account, so the cursor moves to the next option. If you are going to choose the option as primary, then it will ask you to select it to assets, expenses, income or liabilities. So you have to choose it under any one of, so that is not showing capital account because in accounts reports capital account it is shown under the liabilities only. Okay, so if you take it under capital account then it is under liabilities account only. Okay, so hope you people have understood with this. So let me create it under capital. So capital account. So let me accept with all this option and accept it. Now, if I want to check whatever the group I have created, whether is it showing in my books of accounts or not. So I'll go to the main screen gateway of Tally and go to the chart of accounts. So the shortcut key is H, the highlighted letter. Then go to the groups. So you can see here at the bottom, it is showing as 29 groups. And the share capital account, it is showing as over here. Okay. So this is how you are supposed to create with the relevant informations on your books of accounts. This is the first master which you should understand, because if you know that this particular type of accounts comes under which important accounting type. Then it will be easy to understand the ledger account. So the next thing is ledger account. So ledger Hope my voice is audible. So, can I know that what are the ledgers for the? So, can you just let me know that how many ledgers are available on the first transaction? You can chat. Okay, it's breaking. Just give me a minute. Is that now the voice is breaking? Niharika? Okay. Thank you for the responses. Fine. So, yeah, at least now you can be able to give me the answer that how many ledgers are you are able to see it on the first transaction and which are those? Okay. So let me tell you that on the first entry it is cash account and capital account. These are the two ledger accounts which is applicable on the first transaction. So hope at least this it is visible on your screen. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Chitra. So when I want to create a ledger account, let me know that before, is there any default ledgers are created already in Tally? So before me creating a ledger account, like how we had accounting groups, so like that, how many accounting ledgers are by default created in Tally? So to check that, I should go to the gateway of Tally. So I should press escape and come to the gateway of Tally, and I should go for chart of accounts. Then here I have to choose ledgers. As I said, every ledger account should be created under the respective accounting groups. So you can be able to see here at the bottom, it is 29 groups. So default it was 28, and one group I created uh, manually. And apart from 29 groups, there are two ledgers. So which are those two ledger accounts? So if I want to check it out in this screen, it may be confused. So what I will do it is, I have an option on the right hand side where I can be able to view only the ledger details. Can anyone have a look on the options in this screen? Is there any option to have only the ledger views? And what is that shortcut key? Please have a look on the screen and let me know. Very good, Chaitra. So it is F5. So if you press F5, it will show only the ledger accounts which are created under the respective group. So which are those two ledgers? Means cash account, then profit and loss account. There are two default ledger accounts, two ledgers, and those are cash account, then profit and loss account. Okay, so every ledger account has to be mandatory mandatorily create under relevant accounting groups. So based on this selection of accounting groups only, your reports will be generated. Okay. So let me see that what are the ledgers. There were two ledgers. One was cash account and capital account. Since cash account is already created, suppose if any ledger, so let me come to the gateway of Tally, create, then ledger. So if I try to create a new ledger, then example, I'll type it as cash. And if I press enter, if already this ledger is created, any ledger, it is not only the cash, any ledger, if you try to create it, if you try to duplicate it, so with the same name, it will not allow you to create it. It says name already exists, enter a different name. So the name itself, it will not allow you to do it. So do not try to duplicate the same type of ledgers. Okay. So anyway cash is already available. So let me create a capital account. So you can give the name. So whatever the name you understand relevant to the accounting terms. So you can give the names. So now capital account is there. So it might be confused. The capital account should be created under the accounting group of capital account only. So let me give a name as business capital account. So I can give any name. So Tally will accept. It will not say that this is not correct or wrong. Whatever the name you give it, it should be an accounting term and it should be understood with the reports. Okay, so I'll give it as business capital account under the capital account. So it is mandatory you should select it from the accounting groups. It should be any one of it. Okay, as of now, we will see only these two things. One is the name of the ledger and second one is accounting groups, which accounting groups it relates to. Okay, so you can select it. Accept the screen. Now the next one. What are the other accounting ledgers? Let us create all the ledgers first, then we will go to the transactions. So for the first transaction, the cash account by default it is there. Then capital account we created. So we created in the name as business capital account, which does not have any problem. Okay, so the next entry. So here we have a two ledger accounts. One is HDFC bank account and cash account. So again, we are not supposed to create the cash account, which is already created. Either even if it is a default ledger or we created. So it's not required for every entry to entry the same ledger to be created. Tally will not allow. Once the ledger is created for the whole company for number of transactions, you will use the same ledger account. Okay. So now, what is the new ledger I'm supposed to create? It is HDFC bank account. And this should be under which accounting group? So can anyone tell me by seeing the list over here? So it relates to which accounting group on the right hand side from the list? Which accounting group is relevant for this ledger account? So hope everyone are able to see the screen. It's visible. Very good. Thank you, Cecilia. So it is bank account. So we can select with the bank accounts option. As of now, we will not see with all these options. We will just ignore with all these things. We will discuss on all these things when we are doing a banking concept separately. So accepted the screen. So we created with the SDFC bank account. So cash account, it is already created, no need of creating it once again. The next ledgers are computers account and SR computers account. So let me go to computers account. Good, at least some of them are responding. My sincere request is try more than those two people. Let most of them respond to it. So computers account. So which group it may be applicable? Purchase, good, but still, Chaitra, still can you try? What else it could be? Very good, asset, fixed asset, very good, Vidya. Okay, so there is a confusion because we are purchasing the computer, we have to show it as a purchases. Why it has to be shown something else? So it may be a confusion. So when do we consider the purchase accounts means if a item is being purchased for the purpose of sales. If that anything is purchased for sales purpose, then we can show it under the purchase account. Suppose if it is purchased for the purpose of business use, then it is called as fixed asset account. So there's the difference what you have it between these two. So fixed asset, accepted, good. So what is the next ledger is our computers account. SR computers account. So which group it may be applicable with? Very good. Is there any other option, Chaitra? So as per our screen, so what you said it is a correct, but still, yes, sundry creditors. So what is the difference between the creditors and sundry creditors? Is it something else? Creditor is something else or sundry creditor is something else? No, creditors is means the person who gives a benefit to the business and will receive the benefit later from the business. Who gives the benefit to the business and takes the benefit later. Debtor is a person who takes a benefit first and then he benefits the business later. Okay, so when I make a purchase, we have credit purchase and cash purchase. So when we are doing a credit purchase, so the party who gives a credit to us, so that party becomes a creditor. Now, what is the sundry creditor means? So when I do the business with multiple creditors, so in every business we don't deal with only one party, we deal with multiple parties. So I am going to take all the parties who gives a credit to me under the same creditors. So sundry means all or group, all creditors or group of creditors. Okay, so everyone they comes under this. So good. Let me select with sundry creditors. Now there is an option. Till now, whatever the ledgers we created, you didn't get this option maintain balances bill by bill. So why it is not given? Because it is a feature which will help you out in the outstanding management. I'll show you the difference by keeping this option as no and by keeping it option as yes. When we are supposed to use this option, so let me not confuse you. So let me keep it as no as of now. So keep this option as no. SR computers account under sundry creditors, maintain balances bill by bill as no. And rest other options you can leave it. Accept the screen. Next. The next ledgers as per the screen. So it's not required for us to create SR computers because we created just now. SDFC Bank also it is already created, it's not required to create. The next ledgers are GK Company. So now it relates to which group? Now we are making a credit sales and we are giving a credit that is a benefit to the party. So he comes under the sundry data. Very good. Thank you, Chidra. So here also I'll keep this option as no and I accept the screen. So the next thing is discount allowed. So this should be created under so discount allowed. Very good. Indirect expenses. So type of ledger, keep it as not applicable as of now. Accept the screen. So the next one is delivery charges. Charged. Very good. So it is indirect incomes. Not applicable. Accept the screen. The next it is sales accounts. This should be created under okay. Good. So Jasmine and Chaitra. So it was being given as direct income. The Chaitra has given as sales. So both are correct. So I go with the sales. Why? Because sales is the only direct income you have. Okay. If you take it as a sales also, it is considered as a direct income. But I want to know that why I don't prefer it with a direct income means it may be something else that it may come under the direct income. So I will have a total value for that particular period, how much direct income have been earned it. But I should have a report that how much sales has have been done for that period. So the sales turnover, the report has to show me as sales turnover. Then apart from sales turnover, is there anything else as the direct income? Then you can have a separate report on that part. So while creating the purchase should be created under purchase accounts only. Sales under sales accounts only. Then sales returns should be under sales accounts only. Sales returns under sales accounts, then purchase return under purchase accounts only. There is no any group as purchase return or sales return account. Okay, so it should be under sales accounts. Type of ledger not applicable. Excellent. So now, is there any ledger accounts we left out? Let me see. So let me count it how many ledgers are being created with. So cash is already created, business capital we created, SDFC Bank, 2, computer account SR Computers, 4, GK Company, 5, discount allowed, 6, delivery charges, 7, sales accounts as 8. So totally 9 ledger accounts will be there. In that 7 ledger accounts we created. So let me see that which are those. So to identify that how many ledger accounts are created, so we can come to the gateway of Tally, chart of accounts, then go to the ledgers, and if you want to view only the ledgers, press F5. So you can see that totally we created 8 ledgers and 2 ledgers were already created, so it is 10. 8 ledger accounts we created, and it shows under which accounting groups. Okay, so this is how you can be able to create the ledger accounts. Okay, so either you can create it before passing the transactions like this, or while passing the transactions also you can be able to create it. So I'll guide you when we are doing a transactions. Okay, So the next one is, now we have known that what are the accounting groups. It is mandatory that to generate the report, it shows with the values only on the accounting groups basis. And in that accounting groups, any value has to be shown related to the transactions, that it should be created in the through ledger account. So you cannot pass any transactions which are without ledger account. See, even though you have a 29 groups, you didn't use those groups while passing the transactions. You used the ledger accounts while passing the transactions. You will use it, the ledger accounts while passing the transactions. So it is mandated to have a ledger accounts under the respective accounting groups. Okay. So now, when I want to record all these transactions under the respective accounting groups on the respective accounting ledgers. So I cannot just go to some transaction and just record it as debit this ledger, credit this ledger. So on under the respective voucher types, transaction types, we are supposed to record the information. So like that, there are default voucher types available in Tally. So which you can be able to see from the gateway of Tally, set of accounts. You have an option called voucher types. You can go over here. So here there are 24 voucher types are available. To record these transactions of this ledger values, so I should use the relevant types of voucher types. So these 24 voucher types are divided into 5 parts. So let me give it. So here I don't use it as accounting voucher types because it involves with different types of vouchers. So voucher types are nothing but transactions types. So the first types is accounting voucher types. So there are 8 types of voucher types. So which are those? Contra, payment, receipt, journal, purchase, debit note, sales, credit note. So these are the 8 accounting voucher types you will be having it. So you should pass the transactions relevant to that transaction, the behavior of the transactions. So you have to record it. The next voucher types are inventory voucher types. And this also it has 8 types. So which are those? Means stock journal, physical stock, a receipt note, delivery note, rejection in, rejection out, material in, material out. The next one is order voucher types. So in this purchase order, sales order, job work in order, and job work out order. So the next one is payroll voucher types. There are two are available. So first one is attendance. The second one type is payroll. Then final types are non-reflecting accounting voucher types. So memorandum, and the other one is reversing journal. So like this, you have 22 voucher types. Okay, so you will be using this type of voucher types on a different scenarios. So in the next class, so before the next class, I'll be trying to send a document on which it is going to have all the explanation about all these voucher types, so that we will instead of talk about this theoretically, we will try to do practical transactions in the next class. Okay, so we'll wind up for today. Is there any questions for today? Please put it in the chat box. I'll take 1 or 2 minutes of time so that if you have anything, we will clear the doubt. And then we can wind up the session. So if you don't have any questions, you can type it as no questions. If you have anything, you can type the questions. Okay. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. We'll meet tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.